Hello there everyone! So it's time for the Crayola challenge. I know I've been saying I've been going to do this for several months, and I actually filmed this back in July and didn't post it for whatever reason. I've been thinking about hosting it for a long time and just haven't done it for whatever reason, but here it is. Yay! So for those of you who don't know what the Crayola challenge is, it's basically just a little coloring challenge where you take white copy paper and Crayola colored pencils, a set of, I think it was 48 colored pencils, but I have a set of 50 because they don't sell 48 sets where I live, but whatever. And then a ballpoint pen if you choose, and then you are supposed to just color a illustration that you did using the colored pencils. Pretty simple, whatever. So I'm coloring this illustration of Elsa that I did. I actually did this illustration back last November, and I drew it specifically for doing the Crayola challenge, so that's kind of shows how long it has been that I've been thinking about doing the Crayola challenge, and just never quite got around to it, but I did color this 2 months ago, so, you know. And there is also a companion illustration that goes along with this one of Anna, that I will be coloring in another video using my proper or favorite colored pencils, which are my polychromos, and I will be doing that in another video, which I'll probably be posting around the same time next month, so it's kind of a companion piece to go along with this one, so yay. But yeah, I guess I'll get into what I did. The biggest struggle that I had with coloring this illustration was I couldn't find the colors that I wished that I had to be able to color, say, for example, Elsa's hair. There just was not a color that is that light, because she has really light blonde hair, and there just was not a color that was even kind of close to that, so I had to kind of improvise and use like a tan kind of color, but it worked out pretty well. But other than that, that was really the only problem that I have, or that I had when I was working on this. I do actually color with Crayola colored pencils fairly often. I tend to take them on vacation with me so I can color with them when I'm like riding in a plane or something, because I have some high art coloring books that me and my friends always color in when we travel, so I always use colored or Crayola colored pencils with those, so it was a fun, unique thing to do for a video, but yeah. I didn't find it particularly challenging because I have used Crayola colored pencils as coloring materials before, so. But they do behave a lot differently than, say, Prismacolors or Polychromos, because they do have less pigment in them, and they are, I guess, cheaper art supplies, but that does not mean that they are bad art supplies. Like, you can do anything that you want with these types of tools as long as you have the skills to do so, which I know some people say that cheap art supplies are bad art supplies. That is definitely not true, and you can definitely see by anybody who's done the Crayola challenge can create really beautiful things using cheap supplies. I don't mind using Crayolas. They work really great because I know how to use them. It's the skills of the artist, not the type of material that you're using. Now, since I was coloring on just plain old like printer copy paper, it didn't take the colored pencil as well as I would have preferred, simply because it is just plain old copy paper. It's not meant for like heavy layering or anything, so getting the colors to blend was a bit of a struggle, but it worked out pretty well. I tend to have a really light touch when I color, so having the white grain of the paper kind of showing through didn't really bother me too much, and I didn't really bother going in and like blending with a white color pencil or anything, which I know that some people have done. That didn't really seem like something that I wanted to do. I kind of liked the sort of graininess that it had, because it gave it kind of an interesting texture that I liked. But yeah, I hadn't colored on just white copy paper since probably I was in high school, because I used to almost always only color exclusively with Crayola colored pencils and on white copy paper when I was in high school, since that's all I could afford to buy for art supplies back then. Now for the sketch of this little illustration, I do have a roughed version and a cleaned up version, and the cleaned up version is the one that I'm coloring. And so how I did that, since I didn't want to use like my fancy light box, because that would kind of be breaking the rules of the challenge, I guess, I just layered the clean piece of paper over the sketch and just kind of held it up to the light and really loosely traced it over that way so that I could get a clean version of the sketch, because the rough version of the sketch is really, really rough, and it would have been really difficult to color over all that pencil. So that's why the sketch is so clean. I definitely was not that clean when I drew it. I tend to sketch fairly messy. But I chose to not ink with the ballpoint pen. I like the look of colored pencils when they're just colored straight with the colored pencil, and then if needed add a little bit of ink at the end once the coloring is all finished, and that is what I do at the end of this, the coloring part of this video. I go in and sort of touch up any places where I feel like the shadowness needs to be a teeny bit darker. Before I did that, I was using like a dark navy, or I think I may have used black. I don't really remember, since it was a long time ago that I colored this, but I tend to not like to use black, straight black, in any of my illustrations. I prefer to use like a dark brown or a navy blue or something similar to that, just because I feel like black is such a flat color, and it kind of, I don't know, feels like it kind of drains the life out of things for me personally. But I did go in at the end and add a bit of that black ballpoint pen, but I chose to not do it beforehand since I wasn't quite sure if I would need it. So yeah. And as I said before, I did actually really enjoy doing this type of video, since I haven't done any colored pencil work for my channel at all. This was kind of a nice introduction to me being able to do more colored pencil work, so I definitely am going to be doing more videos like this, and I probably will do a couple more Crayola challenges with a more complex sketch. This is fairly simple, so I just didn't want to take on anything that was really ridiculously hard before I knew that I could actually do it and make it look not awful. But since I do have experience coloring with Crayolas, since I take them traveling with me, it wasn't too difficult, and I probably could manage something a bit more complex than this. So I will be doing another Crayola challenge in the future. I am also going to be doing another 3 marker challenge, since I have been getting tons of requests to do that. And my other video of that was kind of meh, since the colors were so similar, so I'm going to do another one of those soon. I want to talk about my next video that's coming out probably next week, which will be my 2014 room tour. Yay! I know that I've gotten a lot of requests for that, and so that will be coming up soon. So that's one of my videos for the rest of September, and as well as the page 4 of the short comic, which has been going for the past couple months. So those are my other 2 videos that I'm going to be doing in September, so look forward to those. Yay! And next month I will be having my drawing workspace tour for 2014, which has been greatly requested, so look forward to that. And thank you guys for watching.